People. Que pasa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. This one is called an update or my view about an interview that I saw on a channel, Let's Be Honest, in which they interviewed colorful character Flippa Mafia. I am going to call this video, I saw a couple of inconsistencies that made me want to question some of the answers that Flippa Mafia gave to some of the questions that he was asked. First thing first, very good interview. Second thing, I genuinely think that Flippa Mafia is a good youth. However, like most good youths out there that get involved with bad things, meaning smuggling, they are good for the good times. However, they are not built for the bad times. So therefore, when the bad times come, they do what most persons that are not built for the good times do, meaning that they save themselves. They do whatever it takes that is in their best interest and the best interest of their family, meaning their picnic. So therefore, them are going to save themselves. Now there's a couple of things or answers that he gave that I find very inconsistent. And I am going to try to lay out some of the questions or some of the stuff that he said. One of the things that he said is that he have to thank the judge. The judge pretty much made everything possible. Now people, here's the thing in America. In a lot of situations, the judge has discretion. In a lot of situations, the judge has to go by the book. The judge goes by the recommendation of the DA, the prosecutor. So therefore, if you and that prosecutor came to some sort of amicable agreement, then the judge more than likely is going to go by the recommendation, not of your defense lawyer, of the prosecution. So therefore, if there was some sort of negotiation that was done, that is exactly what you're going to get, the result that you're going to get. Flippa said that he beat this case based on the fact that he is educated in the law. Now people, there's a lot of people out there that find themselves in situations like Flippa Mafia. They got the best lawyers money can buy, like me say, them did a hustle. So therefore they could have afforded to pay for a lawyer and pay him 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those lawyers are the best lawyers that money can buy. Those people were living in the United States for the better part of a decade. Those persons are presently living in Jamaica, living in the Bahamas, living in Trinidad. Are you going to tell me that all of the law that Flippa Mafia learned in a state institution would trump that of the ability of the top lawyers? And next thing that Flippa Mafia said, he did not throw anybody under the bus. Here's the thing, people. He said that he was the top man, he was a kingpin. He asked the question, how comes people not curious about who talk upon him, who talk about him, who snitch on him? He was the top of the top in the conspiracy. That means that he is the kingpin. He was the head honcho. Here is my response to that. If you're not from Colombia, you're not from Bolivia, you're not in the manufacturing of cocoa in which he was convicted of, there is somebody above you, meaning some sorts of Migos, meaning some sorts of Spanish man, or even if it comes to Jamaica and then from Jamaica it reaches to you, Somebody is always above you. There's always a bigger fish than the kingpin in which they claim Flippa Mafia was at. So therefore, me just say, the people I send it to you, the people that are at the top of the stream, they are bigger than you. We have not heard from those people. We do not know what the circumstances as it pertains to those people. So yes, you is the kingpin, however, you are still the middleman. Whenever you get in any sorts of trouble with the feds or even the state authority in America, the first question that you're going to be asked, what are you going to do? You're going to swim or you're going to sink? Help us to help you. Read between the lines. Now, for those of you that don't know, Flippa Mafia tried to go from Jamaica through the Bahamas. Him get whole. He was sent back to Jamaica. So therefore, he did not have a green card at the time. He managed to make it back through the Bahamas, end up in America. People want to know the question, whatever happened to that incident as it pertains to that boat incident from the Bahamas? People, my kid's mother is from the Bahamas. My kid's mother know people in the Bahamas, whether a Nassau, whether a Freeport, whether a Bimini. Based on information that I've had with these people, somebody call somebody name, somebody give up the captain. Is that person Flippa Mafia? I am not going to say so. Is that person not Flippa Mafia? I am not going to say so. The next thing is that Flippa Mafia claimed when he was held back then and he came back, his wife had filed for him. So therefore he came back up on some sorts of parole. He was paroled back in the country. People, I have a whole bunch of family members that are involved, are lawyers, that are in law enforcement, both federal and states, both immigration, both any kind of law as it pertains to local or state, like me say. They told me, based on conversation that I've had, based on other references, it is almost impossible, almost being the operative word, for you to get shipped down to Jamaica, come back up on a boat illegally, got busted before, come and get catch as any sorts of kingpin, and then still remain in the country. People, this is not my opinion. This is based on persons who are in the system. Now I understand whenever I put up any sorts of videos, you're always going to have these social media lawyers. Don't know if it is the friends of the subject in which I talk about, and they are going to try to change or convince people, say yes, they are some great legal minds. Flippa Mafia couldn't do this and do that, and that wouldn't do that. However, I reference thousands of other people in a Jamaica, in a Bahamas, in any other sort of country that came, same circumstance as Flippa, never get held as any sort of kingpin status, allegedly about $1 million worth of cocoa through the mail system. However, them end up back from whence them come. So therefore, me just say, Flippa would be an unusual circumstance. How is it that he is so lucky? And next one of the major inconsistencies in his many inconsistencies in his answer to the question is that he was framed. He was in Jamaica when all of this hustling through the mail was going on. So therefore, him not have nothing to do with nothing, a people set him up. Now people, if you remember, most of the people that are involved, yes, there were some other people, but at least 2 of his brothers and 2 of his baby mothers. All of those people got time that is consistent with what the government or the state claimed that they did. All of those people, I think, are presently in Jamaica, got deported. What made Flippa Mafia so different from the rest when he was the kingpin, yet he is there in America? This is the thing about conspiracy, which he was charged for. He was the head of the organization. Don't know if he got kingpin status, but based on the court documentation, he was the leader of the organization. In a conspiracy, you just have to have information, meaning the feds, that yes, this person knowingly and willingly participated, orchestrated, mastermind, or was just involved. To what capacity you are involved, Flippa was the top of that. The only person that was bigger is the source, the Migos, in which those things came from in a Colombia, Bolivia, or somewhere in a South America. So therefore, you don't have to be there when any of the business is being conducted. You just have to have knowledge. You just have to have orchestrated any part of it for you to be found guilty. There were persons that were on the case that if them plea and said, listen, we are going to talk upon him if and when needs be, they are going to talk. Those persons are not the subject of my video. Flippa Mafia is. Now people, remember, he is the one that said, listen, me hear people call up my name and say me SNITCH and all of this. Hear me here, but me not care. However, as a person that is a blogger, I care about my credibility. I care about whatever I say. And anything that I say, I can back it up with documentation. Those documentations are not needed right now. Me just point out some sorts of inconsistencies in what he said in his interview and why I object or my opinion is different from his as it pertains to the rule and law of everything as it pertains to immigration. Now people, he said something that I find consistent. Back in about 2000 and something, there was an incident at his house in which some people, me don't know if some sorts of conflict or some sorts of deal gone wrong, and some people get caught up. At least 2 people lose them life. Couple of people get whole. They were charged. They were convicted. This happened in Flippa Mafia's house. He had no choice but to clear his name and make sure said the relevant authority no say him not have nothing to do with anything. He was not a part of the mastermind. He was not a part of the conspiracy. He gave a statement. That case went to court. Had he been a responsible, or because he was responsible, he told the popo what he knows. That is not snitching. That is people violating you. So therefore you have to save yourself as a man. You have to save your house. So therefore I am not questioning that, none at all. What I am questioning is the fact that after that incident, even if you got some sorts of amnesty because of that, you then got caught afterwards, after amnesty. That is a violation of your amnesty. So therefore, whatever agreement was made back then, you violated the fact that you was held afterwards in a conspiracy in which you was one of the top people, the kingpin of that conspiracy. That would be grounds for dismissal. That would be grounds for deportation. You was not deported. You are back in America. What makes you so special? What makes your situation or circumstances unusual. So people, like I said, there is the amnesty. That means that if you feel like it is going to be a strong possibility that when you go back home, whether it is political, whether it is any sort of affiliation that might cause you to lose your life, there is a thing that is called or filed under torture. It is called amnesty. So therefore, in the case in which the people lose them life at his house, and he gave a statement in his right, I do not have a problem with that. What I have a problem with, or what I don't understand, or what I find very inconsistent, is the fact that you left from America, you went to Jamaica, you try come back up, you get all on a boat, question sign with that incident, you then came back up, you then got caught again in a big DRUGS case with about $900 and something thousand, almost $1 million. You get time, 20 whatever years, and then you do about 9, almost 10. We understand, I am not questioning the time that you did on that. I am just questioning, based on my knowledge, based on conversation that I've had with people who are state, feds, top lawyers, top agents, them just say something not sound right, something funny, something inner, something. Whenever you hear any sort of argument and it is not consistent, it is not rational, it does not make any sort of sense. When you wait versus 1,000 other instances of people just like him or even in a lesser problem than him that got deported, me just want to know how him do it. How does he defy gravity? How does he defy these stringent immigration rules and laws? And people, I am going to give you facts once again because I've spoken about this before. After 9/11, with that Twin Tower incident, after 1996, the immigration laws and rules change. There is a thing that is called aggravated felony. Once you are a green card holder and you have any sort of case that falls in the category of aggravated felony, it could be a couple of grams of cocoa, it could be a toll, it could be any sort of ABUSC on your spouse. Anything that is deemed to be a serious crime, it does not mean that people get hurt. People did not get SHOT. However, there is a big DRUGS problem in America. So therefore, if you as an alien, a resident, an outer, come there and violate those rules, especially when you fall under the category, even if you was convicted of that or you beat the case by some sort of appeal, the fact that there is a conviction for that amount of cocoa, and then you are free, and you're not a U.S. citizen, you have never held any sort of green card, at best you were being filed for by your wife. I know people that have been in America for in excess of 1 decade, 2 decades, them get one little case, well, little in my estimation or my opinion. However, they are back home in Jamaica because of that. They were not given that opportunity, or maybe they were given the opportunity to save themselves, sink or swim. They decided that they want to take option B. Them did not want to help the system. The system looks out for who looks out for it. So people, me just say, I understand, and like I said at the start of my video, a lot of people get involved in the cocoa business. They like the high life, them like the hype, them like the flossing. However, when them get catch, then they realize that they are not built like that. They are not built to be sent back home to Jamaica. So therefore, whatever it takes for them to do, that is what they are going to do. In the case of Flippa Mafia, he has children. Most of his children either live in America, born in America. So therefore, Flippa Mafia did what he thought was best for him and his children. Me just say, whenever you come on the media and you make it seem as if people like myself are spreading rumors on you, I am just letting you know what you say based on my knowledge, based on my conversations with people in the know. Something is very fishy. Something is not consistent with your argument based on the rules and laws as it pertains to immigration, as it pertains to DRUGS in Jamaica, in America, sorry. People like me say, this is just my opinion. I understand you're going to have his liquor yes men in the comment section attack as if them are some sorts of great legal mind as it pertains to immigration, as it pertains to state and federal case. People, those people are just talking. They don't know diddly squats. If you're going to comment on something, comment with facts, comment with rational argument, or else keep the FUCK out the comment section. You're only going to expose yourself. You don't want to do that on this platform. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.